I'm really glad to see that one of the two varieties of climbing bean plants are growing strongly again, and the first few flowers are appearing. For a while, I really wasn't sure if we would get anything from these plants, and I'm not entirely sure why they struggled, as the plants of the other variety seem perfectly fine. We are growing two different varieties of climbing beans in large grow bags in one of the polytunnels. One of the varieties, called Emerite, produces round pencil-shaped pods, and the other is called Helda, which produces a wider and flatter Romano type of bean. The plants of this Helda variety were seriously set back after transplanting, with the tops of the climbing vines appearing to be burnt off, the older leaves dying back, and the new leaves looking distorted. All the plants in the 5 bags of this flat Romano variety were the same, while all the plants of the other pencil-shaped variety were fine, apart from the yellowing of the oldest leaves, and they are already starting to produce pods. We were delayed in transplanting all of the plants into the grow bags, and they were taller and more developed than I would want, but they still seemed to be in decent shape and were not overly root-bound. I did not notice any difference between the plants of the two varieties while transplanting, and it was only about a week later that I saw that the plants of one variety were really struggling. It is possible that there's some unknown factor that I'm not really considering, but I suspect that the plants of the Helda variety were more susceptible to root disturbance during transplanting, and they may have struggled with the cooler overnight temperatures that we had at the time. Or perhaps this Emerite variety is a lot more robust and cold tolerant and was able to grow through these less than ideal conditions. Is one variety more robust, or is another variety more sensitive? I don't know. The current height difference between the varieties is very noticeable, and we've already pruned the vines of the Emerite plants that have reached the top of the polytunnel. The Helda plants lost their original leaders, so are not as tall yet, but have a lot more vigorously growing side shoots that are catching up and will produce a bushier columns of vines and leaves and eventually lots of pods. The first harvest from these plants has been delayed by this setback after transplanting, but it looks like they'll be fine and probably still produce lots of pods, which I didn't expect. We just need to continue to do the work to keep them growing strongly in their grow bags for the rest of the season.